Hey guys, it's Daniel, and for today's trainer tip, I wanted to talk about some of the muscles that surround the cervical spine or the neck. Um, and more specifically, I wanted to show you all some stretches and an exercise that you guys can do at home or in the gym for anybody out there who may be suffering from some sort of neck pain that could be stemming from postural reasons, tight muscles, and or over or underdeveloped musculature in the area. So what I want to do is quickly just mention some of the more commonly known muscles of the neck. So you've got the sternocleidomastoid and the scalenes, which are in the front and lateral sides of the neck. And then you've also got the levator scapula and the upper trapezius, which are muscles that connect down in our shoulder blade and connect up higher on our cervical spine here. What happens oftentimes with overtraining or with work or with just being a busy person throughout the day is that we are not always aware of the posture that we have, and sometimes we may be suffering from something called forward head posture, and that is simply having our head a little too far forward. Now this is putting strain on all the musculature surrounding the neck. Some of the muscles are working a little too hard to hold that position, and some of them are being overstretched. So I want to show you guys some of the stretches that you can do to target these muscles. So if we want to target the front part of the neck, so the scalenes and the sternocleidomastoid, I'm going to show you two different ways to do that. Okay, so to target the very front part, the anterior scalenes, you want to, let's just, for example, I'm going to stretch my right side here. So I am going to lean my head back, and it's as simple as that. I'm leaning back and I'm maintaining my body upright, and I'm going to hold this for about 30 seconds. Then I'll do the other side and do the same thing. You can do a set, 2 sets, or 3 sets, depending on how tight the muscles may be. Now, to do the lateral scalenes in the sternocleidoid, what you would want to do is, instead of leaning the head straight back like this, angled, you would just tilt it to the side. Same thing, try to keep that body upright, and you'll just pull as much as you can tolerate. Same thing for 2 to 3 sets, 30-second holds is pretty good. Now, if we want to stretch the upper trapezius, what you're going to want to do is, I'm going to stretch my left trapezius. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to keep my head kind of facing straight forward, and I'm going to pull. Notice I'm going to pull at an angle. So if my trapezius is right in the back here, I want to imagine that my hand is pulling at an angle that is falling directly in line with that muscle. Okay? So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to keep this other hand down, and I'm going to hold on to the chair so that it maintains my body upright, and it also promotes the stretch a little bit more. You should be able to feel it a little more if you're holding onto a chair or something. If you don't have anything to hold on to, that is completely okay. So I'm going to pull, and you should feel a nice stretch right in the upper trap there. Same thing, you'll hold it 2 or 3 sets of 30-second holds. And that should ideally help out with some upper trap tightness. Now, to stretch the levator scapulae, which is another muscle that is oftentimes found to be very tight in the backside of the neck, we're going to do something very similar. So now, instead of actually keeping my head sideways, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn, and I'm going to look down at this chest. I'm going to pull, okay? So the main difference between these two is that upper trapezius, I keep my head facing the same way, okay? It's just a natural movement there. For the levator, I'm going to have to actually put my chin kind of towards the opposite chest, pull down at that same angle, and you should feel a different kind of stretch. Similar, but different. Again, you can do 2 to 3 sets, hold those for about 30 seconds, and that should give you a good stretch in the levator. Now lastly, what I want to show you all is an exercise that is actually very beneficial in strengthening all of the deep cervical flexor and extensor muscles that help maintain that head upright and leveled with your shoulders, okay? And this exercise is called a chin tuck. It sounds silly, it looks a little silly as well, but it's actually very, very beneficial, and it can be done seated, it can be done lying down in bed, it can be done just about anywhere, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to sit sideways so you guys can see this. I'm going to start off with my head upright. Now, the easiest way to think about this is telling yourself that you want to make a double chin. So what I'm going to do is pull back and hold. Now I'm making myself get this double chin, but notice how I'm going to try to keep my chin in the same level, in the same plane of movement from beginning to end. And you would do that for a couple of reps, 10 to 20 reps. And the thing that you want to do here is you actually want to hold that chin tuck for a couple of seconds so that the muscles get more used to actually holding the head in that perfect alignment, and therefore they'll become more trained to hold your head leveled how it should. If that is difficult doing it seated, you can always do it lying down. You could put a pillow underneath your head and then pretend you're squeezing the pillow and do the same thing, okay? So if any of you guys out there are suffering from any neck tightness, neck weakness, give these exercises a try and let us know how they go. So we'll see you next time.